fighting games are dead. We need to accept it and we need to get over it. You can get mad at me. I'm mad at everybody. But that's not going to change the reality of what's going on. And we shut up, update. You should suck my you. Oh man, I was gonna push the button, but I don't want to get demonetized on this one. So we'll at least we'll keep the offensive memes to a minimum for this one because it is kind of a serious subject, guys. We're cooked. We're done. It's over. Wash your hands and walk away. All right. The writing on the wall is here, and the canary in the coal mine was Fatal Fury. We need to accept facts that the genre as it stands is dead. And how can I say that? Well, because Fatal Fury's dead. And if you don't agree with me, say something in the comments, because us Fatal Fury fans would love to just connect with other people that want to play the game. Because, yeah, there's nobody really playing the game. It's impossible to get anybody to play the game. Okay, I'm a streamer. I begged people from my fan base to play the game. SNK bribed people to play that game, and yeah, no, people, or yeah, maybe they'll watch it, they'll dabble in it, you know, but nobody's trying to like grind that game. Nobody's trying to hit ranked in that game, except for a few people that, you know, appreciate good fighting games, because that's the problem, right? Fatal Fury is a good fighting game. It's an old school fighting game in a way that they don't make anymore. You know what Fatal Fury didn't have? Modern controls worth of shit. The modern controls of Fatal Fury are like absolute dog piss. You don't want to use them. It's not a good idea to use them for anything other than like basically if you're too lazy to learn how to play the game, you could kind of pretend your way through the story content if you really want to read that much dialogue text. But other than that, yeah, the single player content was pretty lacking, and the controls were very old school, and the game flopped. And a lot of people want to like blame other dumb shit like, oh yeah, it's because they added Ronaldo. Or, oh yeah, it's the politics, man. I don't like Saudi Arabian government involvement. But the reality is none of that. That's all dog whistle shit, okay? That's all nonsense, okay? None of that is real. Wanted an excuse to not buy Fatal Fury because Fatal Fury it's a hard game, man. There's justifying mechanics. It's not an easy fighting game, and it's an easier fighting game than what SNK has put out in the past, but SNK is known for putting out some pretty technical stuff. So those of us that are SNK fans, we're into that technical stuff. And that doesn't sell anymore. And these corporations don't really care because they never did, but the development teams did care, and all the development teams that did care have moved on. Harada doesn't work at Tekken anymore, okay? Like Daisuke is still at Arc System Works, but for the most part, all the guys that laid the foundation for what fighting games are, they've all moved on to other stuff, and the people that have taken over have decided that what the future of fighting games needs is to just disregard and disrespect its entire history, culture, and heritage, and instead focus on a new modern audience that may or may not exist. And first thing we're going to do is lower the barrier to entry and get rid of all the hard shit, okay? So fighting games, for a long time, have been leaning more towards getting rid of the hard shit without completely alienating ancient dinosaur sweatlords like me. And for a while, we kept up with the dog and pony show until it was like, yo, Street Fighter 6 is the biggest game in the world as far as fighting games go. And that's fine. I love Street Fighter, okay, as a franchise. I feel like fighting games is not going to be in a good place if Street Fighter isn't at or near the top, okay? Street Fighter could be number 2, but we're in a bad state of affairs if Street Fighter is number 3. Okay, Street Fighter needs to be the standard bearer, the flag bearer of our genre. It's who we are, it's where we started. Street Fighter got to stay on top, and right now it is, but what's at the top of Street Fighter is modern controls. Most of the people that jump into Street Fighter, that's where they're going. Most of the people that are trying a fighting game for the first time are trying that fighting game with modern controls, and that is while I respect what Street Fighter did in kind of making modern controls work, I have Street Fighter 6. I got like 100 hours into it. I gave it a fair shake. The gameplay is tight. Not saying nothing about the gameplay negative. Very good game. But yeah, we need to face facts. Street Fighter 7 is going to be all modern controls. Okay, a lot of the complaints people are having as far as balance in Street Fighter 6 has to do with the fact that you have to make two different characters, the classic character and the modern character, and it's just not working. Okay, nobody is happy. You cannot serve two masters. And so I looked at the writing on the wall, and I saw Fatal Fury, which is the only game doing old school right, is fucking dead. Nobody bought it. Okay, I can't help that nobody bought the game and everybody's ignoring it and it's just like swept under the rug. They put it on the ring at WrestleMania. I begged people to play it. I begged other people to stream it. I told people, I'm like, dude, you're good at this game. You should stream. You should go out and get famous, man. You're good. Nobody wants to like mess with that. They're like, yeah, but I'll get really good at Fatal Fury and then they'll release another one and all my skills don't transfer. Everybody saw what happened to old guys like me that grinded out Tekken 6 and learned how to Korean backdash, and then they released Tekken 8 and they removed Korean backdash, and now don't I look fucking stupid spending years learning how to master that shit. Nobody's going to do that anymore. The younger generation isn't going to make that mistake. They're not going to sit there and spend fucking 6 years learning how to Korean backdash into a one-frame link. Like, they don't fucking care. Okay? They saw what happens when you commit your hours and hours and hours to these corporations that don't care about you. They bail on you. They bail on you for the modern audience with more money. And the kids today are that modern audience. They saw how fucked we're getting. They're like, yeah, I'm not making that mistake. I'm going to play the easy game, and I'm going to be the boss at that. And that's what I saw. I was like, yo, the easy games, that's like the future. The future of fighting games is modern control Street Fighter. It's fucking auto combos Tekken. It's stylish Guilty Gear. So I started saying, all right, well, you know what? If that's the future, regardless of what I want or think or believe, I have no control in this. I bought all these games. I stream. I sell them to my fans. Okay? My fans buy them. I'm like, guys, we got to get on the Fatal Fury. Right? Don't I look stupid selling everybody the Fatal Fury and now nobody plays it? Right? I got to eat that egg on my face too. But it's like, what are we going to do? I did what I could. I sold the game to whoever I could. I bought a copy. I got copies for myself. I streamed it. I played it. Contributed to the monthly active users. Tweet about it. Go on Reddit. Join the discussions. Add to the engagement. I'm the only person there talking to my fucking self half the time. And I was just like, yeah, man, there's nothing I can do to salvage Fatal Fury. But beyond that, okay, Fatal Fury didn't sell. Why didn't it sell? Because why would I buy this hard-ass fucking fighting game to win a tournament for $1 million when Saudi Arabia is going to bounce once this shit flops and then there's no more $1 million tournaments? And I just spent 8 hours a day learning how to just defend into a zero-frame super for fucking nothing. Everybody saw that and they're like, yeah, nah, no. I'm going to go to Street Fighter. I'm going to play modern controls because that's the future. I'm going to go win that tournament because it's prestigious. And I want to play against that community because that has the most players. And so if modern controls was the future, I said, well, what game did it best? Is it Street Fighter? Do I need to jump on Street Fighter 6? I was having an existential crisis. I was like, I like it. It's not a bad game. I could play that. I could play Street Fighter 6. I could play modern controls and make it work. There's enough old school fighting game in modern control Street Fighter 6 that, whereas it doesn't scratch the itch that something like Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus or Blaze Blue would scratch. It's got rollback netcode and crossplay, so I'll never have to play by myself and it won't be laggy as shit. So go figure. That's it. Do you want to play the old games by yourself or with 4 other people in your Discord, or do you want to play a new game where you might meet new people? And I agree. I don't really want to meet new people. Most of those people outside suck. I fucking hate them. I'm usually very mean to new people that join my community because I already know you're not going to fit in. You're not going to like me. You're not going to like half the people in my chat. Let's just get it out of the way, okay? You don't have to subscribe. Don't follow. Just move along. You don't like me. I don't like you. But to the people that I get along with, it's like, you know what? That guy was cool. I wonder if there's other people like that out there. Because if I could find like 4 or 5 of those guys, man, we could just sit on the couch and play these games all day. You can't be entirely antisocial. But I looked into all the fighting games that did modern controls, and I have to be honest, as far as future-proofing myself in a genre that has no future, nothing fulfills or delivers. Nothing delivers on all fronts like this game right here. These two dudes. This game is Granblue Fantasy. I've spent quite a bit of time with it. I have like 100 hours logged into this fighting game alone. I've done a lot of research on this franchise. And I strongly believe that this franchise is like the future of whatever fighting games are going to be. This is a game that was created by 2 of the head honchos behind Final Fantasy III. Okay, if you're a Final Fantasy nerd, you know that as the good one. Real Final Fantasy fans love 3, and so the guy who designed all the characters for 3 and the guy who did the music for 3, they got together, and so this guy just says, man, I love to make these characters. I love to, just draw random characters. Let's make a game. They made a game. Party on. They've since turned that game into a fighting game. So now we have this whole lore from this RPG made into a fighting game, and it's good. It's good times if you're into that. A lot of lore, a lot of story. The art is amazing. Have you seen Final Fantasy III's artwork? It's gorgeous. And everybody's like, I thought you hate anime. I do. Final Fantasy III predates whatever your conceived notions of anime are. Okay, when Final Fantasy III came out, anime was called Akira, and it was dope. Okay, I'm sorry about your Attack on Titties and all the Gooner shit where it's just the same character but with a different colored haircut. Like that, I don't like that. Okay, you give me the Final Fantasy looking shit, you give me Akira shit, you give me Dragon Ball. That's tight. This game looks like that. Okay, all the characters they have different faces. I can recognize facial features in this game. And the art style is beautiful. The music is amazing. But what I will vouch for is this. I play a lot of fighting games, and I'm really sad about the death of my genre. And the closest thing to a fighting game that we have today is this one. This game is notable because it was the first one to do modern controls. The prequel to this game. This is a sequel, Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. It's the second one in the fighting game franchise. There's also a phone game and an RPG, and an anime and a manga. Like, this is like a Marvel Universe thing now. If you want lore deep, this one goes deep. But they created modern controls with their first fighting game, and I played it. I didn't care for it too much because I was like, it's not really delivering a lot of the fighting game stuff. It's really just kind of brain dead button mashing with some technicality in there, but like it's kind of like if I wanted, like you were better off just playing any other fighting game unless you just weren't good enough to play the other fighting games. But now with this sequel, they've changed things enough to where I've played a ton of this game, and I'm honestly hooked, and I find it fascinating. I find the core concept of let's make a fighting game where we remove execution, but it has all the fighting game stuff in it. Okay? There's like meters for days, cooldowns. They said rather than you being able to perform with your hands, you now have to perform with your minds. This is the game that's pulled it off the best. Okay? Yeah, you could be an idiot and mash out auto combos, but I have shown on my stream that you can very easily shut that down with regular fighting game fundamentals. And so to me, this is a regular fighting game. This is a real fighting game. It's a new, innovative take on an evolution of the genre, but everything that it takes to win in a fighting game minus your hand stuff. This isn't like Smash where it has different rules and bro, if you're good at Tekken, you're not going to be good at Smash, okay? That's a different genre. The health bars don't even work the same. You got to throw them off the mountain. That's a different genre, okay? If you know how to play Street Fighter, this is Ryu. We got the fireball, right? There's the fireball. We got the Shoryuken. We got the Tatsumaki, right? There's the Tatsumaki. This is Ryu, okay? They took all the fighting game stuff that we loved, they removed the motion inputs, and they found a way to make it work by making it have to do with meter management, cooldowns, and all sorts of resources, which makes you stop having to use your hands and more forces you to be able to multitask. It challenges you to be able to recognize and deal with many threats from many different directions at all times. And that's a skill that I find interesting. That is a skill I find worth pursuing and cultivating and using a video game to get better at that, to be able to recognize different threats from different angles. He's got this meter, and that cooldown. He's at this position. We got 15 seconds on the clock. How am I going to handle this? The big wombo combo is not impressive. It's like, okay, you know the wombo combo. Everybody knows the wombo combo, right? What's impressive are the mental gymnastics it took to be able to land the wombo combo. And I've played enough of this game to recognize that, yeah, you know what? This game has that. And so I'm all in. I bought the RPG. I downloaded the phone game. I'm about to buy the battle pass. I don't even fuck with battle passes. You guys know me. I hate free-to-play shit. I hate phone games. I hate all that shit. But this game did the fighting game blasphemy in such a way that my eyes have opened, right? Now I understand the ancient Jews seeing Jesus when he was performing blasphemy. And they're like, but wait a minute. He's got a point. There is another way. Change is different, but it's not always bad. And sometimes we have to leave things that we love behind in order to accept a new reality in front of us and achieve a higher level of enjoyment. Because there's no other game that hits like this one. As soon as you play it, you're like, bro, having to watch all this shit in the middle of a fighting game is fun. And I'm glad there's no execution, because there's no way I could do a Shoryuken while watching all these meters and gauges and fucking explosions. And it challenges in a way that I did not think was possible. I did not think if you took away the execution that fighting games could get good, possibly even better. This is the first game of its kind to do it right. And I feel that it bears at least acknowledgement. We should at least look at it and be like, all right, different. It's not always bad. Am I mad about Fatal Fury flopping? Yeah. Because Fatal Fury flopping means no one is ever going to take that risk again. No one will ever make another game like that. It's not going to happen. Okay? Maybe a 3D game will have some technicality. Virtua Fighter 6 could be all the things we want it to be, and I'm hoping and I believe in the Yakuza team. I have my eyes on Virtua Fighter. But I'm not going to be ignorant and not recognize that the biggest fighting game on the horizon is Marvel Tokon. And all of my friends who went to EVO this year played the game. It was on demo for all the EVO Pro fighting game sweatlords to challenge each other and test it out. And all of them have told me it plays exactly like this game. And if you want to hang in Marvel Tokon, you would be well served learning this one. In preparation for Marvel Tokon, I fell in love with a different franchise, and I will pick up Marvel Tokon because I'm not going to deny the future. Instead, I'm going to accept the reality of today. Granblue Fantasy is fighting games right now. Evolve or die.